Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Monday Morning Art Talk. I'm Steven Silver, character designer and teacher, dedicated to helping you learn about the art industry and living up to your potential. Whippy! All right, welcome to another Monday Morning Art Talk. So before we get started today, I just want to let you know that if anyone is interested in just meeting up through my Skype mentorship, it's something that I don't really discuss. I just kind of do it on Tuesdays most of the time now, between a 3-hour window. And if there's something that you'd like me to at this time go over any of your artwork at any time, or just kind of discuss the direction you want to go in, you can go to my website at silvertunes.com and just go to the Skype mentorship. I've probably been doing it for about 10 years now. And it's just, again, fun way to meet face to face, so if that's something you'd like to do. So today I wanted to share with you one of my all-time favorite authors, really, ever. He's written so many great books. His name is Orison Swett Marden. And he's written many books. This one was on He Who Thinks He Can, and other papers on success in life. And this current one that I'm reading, it's about 1,698 pages. This is stuff that I'm doing. I'm kind of just reading books during this time more than ever. And I have it by my bed. I have it on my iPad. And I love reading books, especially on philosophy and life. And what I do is I highlight everything that makes sense to me, that I resonate with at that moment. And afterwards, I can just pick up any of the books that I have lying all over the place and almost just read the book straight away very quickly and get the essence. Because just like art, repetition is important. It's important to reread things more than once. But I wanted to share with you what Orison Swett Marden had written. This is on a book called Pushing to the Front. And it's just a really great book with just a lot of different chapters. And the whole point of the book really is, again, it's all about the mindset. It's just about, you want to push to the front, you want to advance. Well, this is how really you should go about thinking. And as I read it, again, not everything is going to resonate with people. And I've found that to be true. You might find a book that you kind of really have been told to read or advised to read, and you start reading it and it just doesn't resonate with you. And sometimes it's just because you're not all the time ready to take in that information. You're not ready to hear the advice. You're not ready to learn that lesson. And that's why sometimes even in learning, you could be studying something and it's just in one ear, out the other, like they say, because you're just not ready to take it in. And we've heard things, your parents could have told you something, a teacher could have told you something, and it just didn't resonate until that one moment, and all of a sudden you're watching a movie or you're reading a book, something happens and someone says one phrase of a word, and all of a sudden that one phrase of a sentence, just hits you and you go, oh my God, yeah, whoa, that really hit me. And those are the things that you write down and you hang up on your here, over here, and over there as reminders of things that resonated with you. And I think it's an important thing to do that. If there's meaningful things that you come across in your life that make sense at that moment, it's supposed to happen at that moment. So take it and embrace it and hear it. And I do realize that sometimes the things that I talk about or discuss even through my channel here and my art talks is it's not going to resonate with everyone. And a lot of people always tell me, they always write, I can't believe you don't have more subscribers or more followers. And it's just like, I'm not in control of that. It's just sometimes people, they don't find it, they don't hear it. Sometimes they just want to see drawing demos all the time. They don't want to hear what I discuss. So for those of you guys who are here, I appreciate you guys for being here. You guys are here because you do want to hear something different, and maybe there's something in what I say that resonates with you and hits you, and I'm appreciative of you for that. And it's just something, that's the way the channel is. That's what it is. So it's okay that I don't have thousands of followers. It's no worries. So I'm here for you guys. And what I want to do is just read a section, because there's a lot of things. I'm going to do it more in the upcoming weeks just because this is what's happening in life right now. It's what's happening in my life. And I share with you things that are happening in my life. And as I'm reading through these books, I'm going on long walks every day with my wife, and we're chatting, and these are the things that come up, and I want to share them with you. All right, so this was just a really great thing that he wrote in one of the chapters. All right, so many man has never found himself until has lost his all. Adversity stripped him only to discover him. Obstacles, hardships are the chisel and mallet which shape the strong life into beauty. The rough ledge on the hillside complains of the drill, of the blasting which disturbs its peace of centuries. It is not pleasant to be rent with powder, to be hammered and squared by the quarryman. But look again. Behold the magnificent statue, the monument, chiseled into grace and beauty, telling its grand story of valor in the public square for centuries. So here is just talking about what we can look at, this hardship of the mountain that it's going through and the struggle, but look what beauty came from that hardship that it discovers. And this is the whole point of the whole chapter, is we're going to go through hardships, and whatever those hardships are for you, whether you're dealing with the virus, whether you're dealing with lack of work, whether you're dealing with frustration in your art, whether, well, you name it, what is that thing that you're dealing with, that through this adversity has come and things can get better out of these things. That some people may look at the big doomsday, and we look at this and chaos, but what is the beauty? And I've mentioned it in the other art talks. What is the beauty of what's going on with this? Look what this world is going to come from, this world, from this, where the whole world is frozen, so to speak, where everything is shut down. Look what, there's going to be so many beautiful things that will come, that will rise out of the ashes from the devastation that is being caused. And again, it's a belief system that I have, but this is why it means so meaningful when I read this, because this guy wrote this back in 1890 something, and still today it holds true, because it matters in every part of the world and always has. And what I love about this guy and his writing is he's so knowledgeable, and his mind of history and his knowledge of history, he quotes and brings up so many stories in history, from even back from Napoleon to this, to that, and all these things that of what people suffered through and went through, and how the outcome and how it turned around. And that's what I really love and appreciate. Moving on here. The statue would have slept in the marble forever, but for the blasting, the chiseling, and the polishing. The angel of our higher and nobler selves would remain forever unknown in the rough quarries of our lives, but for the blasting of affliction, the chiseling of obstacles, and the sandpapering of 1,000 annoyances. Again, just that angel, that beauty, that thing that may never come out, because we never had to go through such torment or whatever it may be. And that you see that so many times in people's lives, where because of that struggle, they came out of that and they became better. Through this experience, you might end up writing the greatest novel of your life. You may end up creating the greatest comic book that you've ever thought that you could write. You may come up with the greatest idea on how to affect people's lives in some way. You don't know what's going to come out of this just yet. And I think when you have that hopeful mindset and believe that that can be a possibility, then that's when it's going to happen. But if you're in the dark, deep dungeon all the time and you let it affect you, then you're not going to progress beyond that. Who has not observed the patience, the calm, endurance, the sweat loveliness chiseled out of some rough life by the reversal of fortune or by some terrible affliction? How many businessmen have made their greatest strides toward manhood and developed their greatest virtues when reverses of fortune have swept away everything they had in their world, when disease had robbed them of all they held dear in life? Often we cannot see the angel in the quarry of our lives, the statue of manhood, until the blasts of misfortune have rent the ledge, and difficulties and obstacles have squared and chiseled the granite blocks into grace and beauty. And I'm going to end it there, because Again, just reiterating, that's what this is about. And this is where the innovation and invention, and even when we start to hear of like what scientists are doing in trying to create a drug to help us through this, just for the cure, just the invention, the innovation. And I want you just to embrace that. And I want you to think about that today. And I want you to think about that this week. And I want you just to kind of really start to think about this as look at the good and not so much the bad. And this is why I'm always in favor of really pulling back from certain things of social media. And I'm doing it for myself too. I am pulling back from the amount of time that I even look at Facebook. I just can't look at Facebook. And the reason I can't look at Facebook so much now is because of what I feel has just become so much post of negativity, constant barrage instead of clearing the mind. And I think that's what we want to do at this time right now. We want to cleanse the world. The earth is cleansing itself right now. We can be a part of that cleanse by what it is that we allow into our minds and what we decide that we want to share. And if we can start to share that positivity, and if we can start to embrace that, and we can start to think of the goodness, the things that are yet to come, the unforeseen events that will arise out of this, the angel that is within us that is going to come beyond and through us and out of us in this time, is what this is about. And I really hope that you can reflect on that and embrace that and appreciate that and just know that, yes, this is where we are right now. This is what we're going through. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. And just know that we're all experiencing this. It's the first time in our world, in the world history, in our time ever, from the days of the Romans to the Hebrews, to the wandering the deserts, to everything, well, maybe not that far back, where when we look at society as a whole, when you look at Asia, when it was in working, when you look throughout Europe, when you look throughout everywhere in the world, no matter when there was a plague, when there was a war, there were other parts of the world that were still running. They were still going. They were still in commerce. They were still selling. They were still gathering. They were still connecting. They were still working. And even during the greatest famines and the greatest wars, again, it didn't affect everything worldwide. So for the first time, just think about the magnitude of this. For the first time in the history of this planet as we know it, and history that's ever been written, has the world itself come to a standstill? Has everyone in the world been on the same page, so to speak, in regards to lockdown, everyone staying home, everyone trying to do their part, just businesses having to close? That is crazy to think about, but it's the reality, and it's the acceptance of here we are. This is what we're going through. This is what we're experiencing. So it is my wish and my hope for you that you can switch that mindset of just, if you're feeling the down and the blues and just anything else you're feeling, and switch it around to try to find the angel, the positivity, try to find the statue within the rocks and of the quarry and of the stone, and see if you can do something and be the one who creates something out of this. So when you do come out of this, and you will, that you have something to show for it. That you don't look back and say, man, I wasted those 2 months worrying, complaining, thinking the world was going to end, thinking this was going to happen, thinking that's going to happen. And all of a sudden, here we are now. It's like, well, it's back to normal. Everything's back to normal. What did I do with my time? That's the question you want to ask yourself, all right? So with that said, thanks again for watching. Thank you to all my Patreon followers and anyone else who's watching out there. And again, if you want to meet up face-to-face with me on Skype, you can do so. Just go to silvertunes.com and go to the mentorship, and we can chat. All right, take care. Wishing you guys a healthy, safe week. Wash those hands, stay indoors, do what you need to do. Stay away from people right now. Let's lower this curve. Let's bring it down. Let's get things back to where they were before, and just with a brighter smile and more enthusiasm than ever before. All right, make it a great week. Take care. To learn more about my Skype mentorships and workshops, please visit silvertunes.com, and if you like, sign up for my mailing list where you'll be notified of any upcoming workshops or events. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next week.